like the.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
It is currently 3:30 a.m. in Denver. The scary horse at the airport is staring directly into my soul. I'm about 70 miles away, and I can still see it from here. And I'm petrified. I do think I may die tonight. If anyone is listening to this, tell my mother that I love her and that I'm so sorry for all of the porn that she's about to find under my mattress. There's a line in the original Michael Bay Transformers where he sees Bumblebee transform for the first time, and he's leaving a voicemail to his parents, and he says something like, "Mom, if you see busty beauties underneath my mattress, they are not mine. A friend lent them to me from school, and
that's a
I'm
lie.
so
that's
sorry."
A lie. That's a lie. They are mine. Doesn't he say that?
I don't remember the
I'm pretty
exact
sure he
line.
does. I remember the line, though.
But that stuck with me, because that shit
Yeah.
was so funny to me. I saw that movie in theaters, right? Came out in 2007, so I would have been 6 years old, right? Or
Damn.
2008.
Damn, really?
It was 08 or 07, and that was the first PG-13 movie that I ever saw in theaters, and
Damn.
my dad took me, and god damn did that movie change my life. Like, I would probably
Yeah.
not be the same person that I am today without that movie, just
God
because
damn.
Transformers, already awesome.
Yeah.
Michael Bay, I don't care what anyone says, can make an entertaining movie.
Sure.
Does not have to be like fucking Kino or anything,
Yeah.
right? But it is so much
It's
fun to
fun.
watch.
It's
I will
fun.
still revisit that movie. I own it.
Yeah.
And Megan Fox.
Oh.
That's all I have to say. Megan
Yeah.
Fox. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny, too, because I feel like she's ruining her own rep nowadays just because she says some batshit crazy things
I
in
guess
interviews.
I don't know. What? Like what? Such as?
So, if I'm not mistaken, her and Machine Gun Kelly have rings for each other that are painful to take off.
Are they still together?
Yeah.
Oh.
As far as I know.
They're probably like, I really don't want to take this ring off.
Exactly. Like, they literally have, like, the inward-facing spikes that you can... So they don't hurt to put on, but as soon as you try and take them off, they're, like, painful.
Damn.
And she says that she, like, manifested Machine Gun Kelly whenever she was, like, 7 years old or something like that. There's a bunch of shit that
You think
can
she was
look
in? You think she was in like some sorcery type shit?
No.
Like doing some sacrifices.
She essentially just said that if I'm not mistaken, and this does not even require a lookup because the exact quote is just as insane, but if I'm not mistaken, it was along the lines of, okay, there's like a 7-year difference between me and Machine Gun Kelly. This is her talking naturally.
She's older, huh?
There's a 7-year difference between me and MGK. That's not how she talks. But she said that she remembers whenever she was however old she was, whenever Machine Gun Kelly was born, imagining a dude that looked exactly like him or something like that. So she believes that she manifested him.
I don't remember what the fuck I was doing when I was 7. Like, what was I thinking about?
Yeah, I mean, okay, I remember very vividly. I don't remember how old I was, but I still have this memory archived. There was a time, because I was raised religious, that for probably like a week straight, maybe more, I prayed to God very fervently that the Power Rangers would manifest outside my house.
Dude, that's a great prayer.
I agree, and that's the reason that I'm not religious anymore is because it didn't happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a tall order, though.
Yeah, well, not for God.
I mean, I agree.
I would hope. I was like, God, can you not just do a homie a favor really quick?
Come on, hook it up.
Yeah, dude, I'm still into Power Rangers, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Like, dude, so cool. And I see, so like, I don't know. I never really had like the Saturday morning TV like cartoons, but like every once in a while I would, and like, man, it's just such a good experience. Like all of them, like every single one is just
Absolutely.
top tier.
I was mad into Power Rangers though.
Yeah.
Favorite Power Rangers, hands down, was SPD.
Yeah, SPD.
I still love that sci-fi shit, you know.
Yeah.
Dino Thunder was a close second.
Oh yeah.
Those are very good. And then obviously the OG Mighty Morphin.
Yeah.
I had those on DVD actually, like the movies. I had the
about-
one with Ivan Ooze.
Yeah,
you remember that guy?
Yeah. What about Ninja Storm? I really liked Ninja Storm. I like ninjas.
I can still sing that entire theme song,
So
or almost
good.
almost
Man.
most of it,
And
almost
actually-
all of it.
And actually, I think SPD is like the one that I like have the most memories of, because I mean that was probably like, I mean we were like pretty close to the same age, but like, dude, like the music,
Dude, they went
top
hard,
tier,
straight up.
top tier.
And it's funny because the cheese nowadays almost makes it more charming to revisit.
See, that's what I was just gonna say. Like, you can't have Power Rangers without like the cheese and like, man, just a good time. We should watch all of those.
I think we should, or at least cherry pick like the best eras
I mean,
of Power Rangers.
How long are like the episodes? Like 20 minutes?
But you have to remember how many seasons of Power Rangers there have been.
Like 11?
Oh, dude.
Like 11, right?
Wyatt?
How many episodes? How many seasons? Like, cuz each thing like is like every time they go from like Mighty Morphin to SPD to whatever else. I don't think SPD is the one that I was thinking of. I was thinking of the one where they had like the vehicles, like because SPD.
That's SPD.
Is it?
They have vehicles.
Wasn't
in
there
it.
one that was like super like spaceships and stuff and like?
That one's older, and there are several. This is my Power Rangers knowledge. I have so much of it. But there was literally one called Power Rangers in Space.
That
That one's older though. That one's like more Mighty Morphin era, and it might have still been on TV.
I was thinking here, yeah. I'm thinking Power Rangers in Space is what I'm thinking of, and like I really like that. Oh, and then like the freaking the animal ones. Which one? What was that one called? I don't remember.
Jungle something. There's
That one
Ninja
was cool.
Storm, Jungle Force
With the white Power Ranger and like the green Power Ranger, dude.
So good.
Come on, man. God damn.
Straight up. Also,
Shit.
definitely same like part of my life, but in Power Rangers SPD, oh god, I'm calling myself out right now. There's a girl who's
Wild Force, you were right.
Wild Force. I think I said like Jungle Force.
Yeah,
or
you
something.
did, but you were
Doesn't
close.
matter. Yeah,
It was in the ballpark.
it's because I've watched a lot of
And
these.
what it said 36 seasons. Yeah, the dino thing, and then like, do you remember that event when they like had all the Red Rangers who came together? Bro.
The crossovers.
Oh my
were-
god, how hype,
I lived for those,
dude!
because they all got to fucking use their
Dude.
different like transformations, and you got to see them
And,
all
like,
back to back. So good.
Bro, they did Jungle Fury. Yeah, that was one. That was one I didn't watch. But like,
There are a lot of these.
Man.
Oh, excuse me, I bumped my mic. But there are a lot of these that I am absolutely willing to revisit. But this is important. This is super important.
Do your thing.
Wyatt, I'm going to need the floor for a second.
He's got it. Keep scrolling. This is going down memory lane. I want to see all of them.
No, this is more important.
I'm
I
listening.
demand this.
I'm listening.
I would hope so. I'm in your ears right now.
Yeah, there's no stopping that.
So there was this character in Power Rangers SPD named Kat, right? And she was literally fully human. So she wasn't like in a fursuit or anything, but she had like cat ears on the top of her head, and she had like little like freckles that were supposed to be reminiscent of like whiskers, right?
Yeah.
That was the baddest bitch on the block, dude.
Google
like
it. I
literally.
don't-
Okay, it's Power Rangers SPD, Wyatt, and her name was just Kat, to my knowledge. And
KAT probably.
holy mother crap!
Okay, I want to see that.
That was part of my sexual awakening, like 100%.
I had a weird sexual awakening. Like,
Do you want to elaborate?
yeah. So, yeah. I think most people would probably like. Okay, so there's two, but like the first one is like probably pretty standard for most kids or like most guys that were like our age. You know, Lola Bunny. You know, from Space Jam.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, come on now.
Okay.
There was no reason. There was no purpose.
That's her. Wyatt.
She looks like who does she look like? That one chick from Underworld, Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, she
So-
kind of looks like that.
Lola Bunny
Lola
is
Bunny.
absolutely common, right?
Yeah,
But
right.
the fact that we just mentioned two mildly anthropomorphic
What does
animal
that
characters.
see? And I'm not a furry. That's what I was gonna say. is
That's the
I'm
thing.
Not a furry.
I think it's a
I'm not into
generational
it.
thing, though, because there were cartoons that had certain, like, provocatively drawn,
Stimulating.
like, characters that were
Yeah.
animals before our generation.
Yeah.
But I think it did become more saturated in the late 90s, early 2000s.
You know, to be honest, I think like the animators were probably just horny motherfuckers, man. Like, cause like have you ever heard about the Disney Vault?
Yes.
Yeah, like so. If you guys don't know, there's a vault in Disney. Again, I don't know how true this is. I've never worked for Disney, but I've read
It
about
sounds
it.
like an urban legend for sure.
I mean, it also sounds like something that Disney would do. And so essentially, well, like, haven't you ever seen like, no, like there was something about it, and like, okay, so I'll finish this tangent and then I'll go on to the next one of, so there's like a vault supposedly, that because so essentially whenever you're employed to Disney, right, like everything you draw is owned by Disney while you're under employment. So what they would do is they would draw a whole bunch of like
Essentially
porn,
smut. Yeah.
yeah, porn, like hentai, cartoon
I don't think
shit.
it's classified as hentai, but
What is hentai? Does it have?
I think it has to be Japanese. Technically,
Does it? Does it? Oh, Wyatt's like apparently Wyatt's an expert on this.
Yes. He
Okay,
gave us
well-
the immediate nod aggressively.
Aggressively, he's like, yeah.
Continue.
So porn, and so they would draw. so they would draw a whole bunch of provocative stuff of a whole bunch of like the Disney characters. Okay, so Google. So Wyatt did this, and he Googled first page as per the norm. But the real question remains, does Disney really have a vault? Yes, they do. It's located on the Walt Disney Studios lot in Burbank, California, as each feature film Disney completed, the master copies, and their respective assets needed to be stored in a safe maintained place.
So nothing about
is-
porn.
Well, I mean, they probably wouldn't post that. Disney's a family-friendly company. But anyway, so basically, if you were employed at Disney and you drew some like provocative stuff of like the characters, like they owned that and they keep all of it because they own everything and that's what they do. Secondly, no, it's pretty common practice where like, artists on child like shows and stuff, what they'll do is since they like can't like safe search is off, thanks Wyatt. But essentially since they're like drawing a whole bunch of like kid friendly, like really like lighthearted stuff, it's normal practice to like have a day where they do like a smash sesh, or I can't remember exactly what it's called, but essentially they'll take a panel and they'll draw a panel and then they'll pass it around to each artist and who adds on to it, and it's just like it fucking goes nuts, dude. And there's records of it. Like there's records of like I think I saw it on like YouTube, and there's records of it, and like where they just like do some crazy shit, like where they like fuck and like kill each other, and like that's pretty normal practice because like
I can see like the
it's an outlet.
animators of Nickelodeon, like Ren and Stimpy or Courage the Cowardly Dog for Cartoon Network doing that,
And I think that's what it was. It was like a Nickelodeon like iceberg, one of those things, and they talk about it, and like, and even like you can see videos of like one of the animators. Again, I'm terrible with names, and I can't cite the source, but like they talk about it, and they're like, yeah, it's pretty normal practice that like every Friday we'd get together in a room and we'd do these panels, and like some of it got pretty crazy, and like all that stuff.
What a bunch of fucking weirdos. You know what else you're really bad at, Josh?
What's that?
Staying on topic. Who
Thanks.
was number 2 for your sexual awakening?
The chick from Rush Hour. Like Rush Hour 2, I think.
Okay, I can't remember this one off top.
And like I remember the scene. I remember this vividly, where she's like, where like Jackie Chan and fuck, what's his name?
What's his name?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking you.
The
You have
other
to
dude.
remember this.
I know it, but the dude who acted Chris Tucker. I don't know. There's a scene, and she's like getting undressed, and it's all black lingerie, and like honestly, like my wife has some black lingerie that's my favorite, so I think it might stem from this. Maybe I am a closet furry. I don't know, but like, yeah, I remember. I remember
Black lingerie and then going to a furry. Like that's
Well-
a non sequitur. Like it makes sense in your brain. I
Yeah,
can see the
I'm-
pathways
I'm-
forming. But
yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, she was wearing like black lingerie, and then you're like, maybe I am a furry.
Well, because like so my wife's like my favorite lingerie that my wife wears is some black lingerie, and I absolutely adore it. And again, like that was one of the things that I remember. I'm pretty sure it was Rush Hour 2. It was Rush Hour 2 or 3. It wasn't the first one. But yeah, they're all like peeping on her, and she's like undressing, and I'm like, I'm a child and I like this. Like that's, yeah, I was like, I'm enjoying this.
I'm a child and I
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the scene. Because I didn't know, like you don't know
But
whenever
like at
you're
the same time,
young.
you do.
Like,
you know?
yeah,
you
you're
don't.
like-
You don't know why, but you know
Yeah, you know,
exactly.
but you don't know,
Well, that's why it's like a sexual awakening. You're just
Yeah.
maybe I'm into this. you
Yeah,
know?
that was the real one. That
Makes
like
sense.
like because Lola Bunny is like, oh, like this is I like this movie, and then that was like whenever I was like, oh, I really like this,
Absolutely. Yeah, my big two I would say would be Kat from Power Rangers SPD and Megan Fox from Transformers, specifically Transformers.
Yeah, I mean that one scene where she's like Megan Fox, whenever she's like under the hood and bent over and like, like.
Michael Bay knew what he was doing, but also Michael Bay seems like a horny motherfucker.
Yeah, well, like what I love about the whole lore of Michael Bay is how he literally put a Romeo and Juliet law reference in one of his Transformers.
Yes, that was Transformers 4. And I hate that shit so much. He's like, well, technically, it's not illegal.
He's like, here, let me pull out my wallet, and I actually have the excerpt from the law or whatever. Fucking obnoxious.
If you actually carried around like a Romeo and Juliet statue in your wallet,
Red flags.
You're a pedophile.
Red flags.
I feel pretty
Call it what it
comfortable-
is.
I feel comfortable saying that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
It
Like,
was
no.
it was a very odd move from Michael Bay.
Yeah, but it also says a lot. Like it says a lot.
Okay, so back to our initial topic, because we did definitely I don't even know what to call that, because it wasn't even like just one tangent. There was a lot happening there.
We talk about sexuality and everything, because
no.
we did enter this episode with a topic in regards to sexuality and a couple things.
We consulted the notebook, but
Yes.
first, Power Rangers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, fuck you. You thought you knew where I was going. You're like, oh yeah, sexuality.
Well, that's
no.
that was what we discussed before this.
All I'm saying is, I'm 21, and I would say that I care more about Power Rangers now than I do about sex. Like, truly.
That's tough.
No, it's no question for me. Like, if a woman was like, hey, can I come over? I'm like, yeah, and we can watch Power Rangers. But don't pull anything. Like, this is so important to me.
Well, that's one of those things, It's like, hey, like if you invite a girl over or anyone, whatever, and you're like, hey, like I want to watch this and it's really important to me, whatever it is, like, you're like, this is not sexy time. This is like, I'm showing you a piece of me.
This is probably why I annoy. I don't even know if I do, but I feel like it would make sense if I did, I should say. Is if I were to annoy any female caller in my life, it would be for the sole fact that it doesn't matter what I am watching, whether it's a movie, a YouTube video, what have you, I'm going to fucking finish it.
Yeah.
Like, don't pull anything on me. The only time that is allowed is if I've seen the movie before and I don't care if you finish it. But the thing is, most of the time, if I've seen a movie before, even if I've seen a movie before,
Yeah.
most of the time, I'm picking that movie because I want to fucking show it to you.
Yeah, exactly. I want to watch it with
So
you. And
you
isn't
have
that
to watch the movie. Like, literally,
Yeah.
I am one of those people where they're like, it's like the joke where it's like, oh, whenever a girl is like
on their
kissing your
phone.
neck. No. Whenever a girl's like kissing you, holding your hand, whatever, and you're like, no, watch this scene. This
like,
is
no,
super
this is
important.
really important. You won't understand what's coming next if you don't watch this.
If you miss this, you won't
Yeah.
understand the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. So that's me. And ladies, I am still single. Hit me up.
I wonder why.
Yeah, Universe by Cam. If you want to
No.
come over and watch movies with me, I would prefer that. You probably can't watch Power Rangers with me because I think me and Josh are going to do that
Yeah.
now.
Move over, bitches.
So that's actually where I was going before I went off on the entire making love during movies.
Well,
tangent.
okay, and I actually have something that I want to say on that is there's a pause button for a reason, and like I'm totally cool with like stopping the movie.
I mean, it is like, what, 30 seconds of your life that you'll miss out on whenever you pause it?
Max.
Yeah, exactly.
Max.
Exactly. You're just like,
You know,
okay, actually, I
like,
can
we
get
can
this
come back
done.
to it.
I can crank this out in like
Exactly.
45 seconds.
Like, dude, like a fucking shotgun, like
That's
you know what I
scary.
mean? It's impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like a buckshot.
Yeah.
So Wyatt's losing his mind. Thank you,
Yeah.
Wyatt. I'm glad we have an audience here. Maybe we need like a laugh track to put in over this, like an
We'll
audience,
get a
like
soundboard.
studio
We'll,
audience.
we'll get a soundboard.
That'd be good. That has 4 buttons on it, Wyatt.
We need
He's
more.
gesturing to our current podcast recorder, which does technically have a built-in soundboard, but I want more buttons. Okay.
More
Anyway,
buttons.
more buttons. Anyway, this is the last I'll talk about it, I swear.
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers. Let's watch Power Rangers.
Yes.
And I would say that the best way for an adult to experience Power Rangers is at least a little drunk. Yeah. So I think that we choose, and I know that you can actually still buy most of them on disc, and I would love to add those to my collection. So I would say we choose a franchise of Power Rangers. SPD is my personal vote. All three of us choose one, and I buy them. And then we just make a night of it, you know. And it can be content, even if it's just even if it's just super light content. But at the same time, if it's not, this still sounds like
this
great
sounds like
Friday
a great time. And if nothing else, it's a great story.
Yeah, this is just
I'm
dude
definitely
time.
down. We'll make this happen.
This is dude
we'll
time
make this
right
happen.
here.
I'll have to look and I'll have to remember because I remember. Off the Power Rangers.
Yes,
because,
that's it. That's all I got.
That's it. We'll watch it. Back to what I was talking about, sexuality and stuff. So
This is a weird episode.
yeah, Power Rangers and sexuality. I wonder. Yeah, men in tights and females. There were
I was
females.
about to say it was
There were females.
it was
Pink
actually
Ranger.
a very diverse show as
Yellow
well.
Ranger. Yeah.
Very diverse show. The first like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers always gets flack because the Black Ranger was black and the Yellow Ranger was Asian. But after
that's
that,
a joke. That's a
yeah,
running
it's
joke.
pretty rough. But after that, I feel like they actually are one of the more diverse children's shows that doesn't feel like it's just
great.
that it's just forced. You know,
Just
no,
great.
it's just dudes. Anyone could be a Power Ranger. That's the whole
Yeah,
point.
literally.
Exactly.
The teenagers. Which also, okay, we need to get off the Power Rangers because we are going to talk about this the entire podcast. Because like the first Power Rangers, by the way, they were supposed to be teenagers. They definitely looked like they were like 30 or something. Like they looked way too.
And that's absolutely part of the charm as well. I love it so
Sure.
much. It's beautiful.
You have a microphone, Wyatt.
Wyatt keeps doing this, and it's almost more distracting to the podcast.
It is.
Just talk.
Yeah, you could literally say, yeah, what's wrong with talking about Power Rangers? That's literally all you have to say.
Yeah, seriously. You can. The whole point of you having your own mic and mic stand now is so you can just interject whenever you want to. You don't have to just type it on your fucking laptop.
But what's
please.
even more funny about this is he's not typing it. He's drawing it out with his finger because we have a touch screen. And so he's writing it out by drawing it.
It's actually infuriating, Wyatt.
I think
just talk.
But like that being said, I really wish that we had video of this because if we could just see him writing a little message and turning the whole laptop to us as he instead of just being like, "Hey, why not?"
I feel like it is weirder. Like your autism is showing currently, just because you have.
Don't do that.
You have,
It's better we don't have video.
yeah, never mind. No video for this podcast. But it's just so odd because it's like, no, you're not like. You're not what is nonverbal. Like you
Yeah.
can speak and you have no reason to not interject. You have the
Exactly.
equipment, you have the means, and yet you decide to not only, once again, this is what makes it autistic, Wyatt, is that you're not just like typing in a document. You're literally writing with your finger the words that you could just be saying into your microphone. Please.
Wyatt, you're as part of this. You're as big of a part of this podcast as Cameron and I. Okay.
That does not mean you have to talk the entire time, right?
No.
But it makes for a bad audio experience whenever we have to pause to read whatever you're
saying.
writing.
But it's so fucking funny, and I love it. It's kind of funny, but
It's
you can
really
talk.
rough.
Please, we'll get you to talk on the mic a little bit more. It's
want
okay.
you
We'll make
to.
you more comfortable.
Yeah, we want you to, and the people want to hear you.
'kay.
The reviews are back. They're saying bring back Wyatt. Where'd he go?
Yeah, where'd he go?
And I
He was
like,
just
he was
about-
gone for 30 minutes last episode, but that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Just in those 30 minutes, I had my phone blowing up, and I was like, "How do you guys even know like that
We haven't
Wyatt's
even
gone?
posted this yet.
The episode's
Like,
not live. How did you know?
It's
They
been
felt
up in
it.
like 4 weeks.
They felt it.
Yeah, they felt it.
Yeah. So
'Kay.
all I'm saying is that people love you, Wyatt, and they
Yes.
want to hear your
Hey,
beautiful
Wyatt.
voice.
Wyatt, I love you. Okay?
Yeah, the people may love you, but not as much as we love you.
Exactly. You wanted to say something. You can say something, Wyatt.
I was just gonna be like, "I love you too, Josh," and then Cameron's like, "We," and I'm just like, "I don't go for threesomes or nothing." Like that.
Remember, it ain't gay in a 3-way, Wyatt.
Unless you're all dudes. I feel that okay, that only makes sense if there's a female somewhere in there, Josh.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of like a gay dude being like, it's not gay,
in a
it's a
three-way.
three-way, but it's just all dudes.
Then another guy walks in, which
Also,
exactly.
that is not my stereotypical gay voice. That just so happened to be the gay dude that thought that it's not gay in a three-way.
That's no.
Unless or with three dudes.
There's a gay man inside of every straight man. Let's be real, and he comes out when he's with his friends.
I love the sentence. There's a gay man inside of every straight man as well, because that's just a great double entendre.
Right?
Yeah, that's good.
We have strokes of genius every now and then.
Hey, oh wow, we're really on top of it with this one. Okay, so great segue. We're not talking about Power Rangers anymore. Go for the sexuality talk. I think Josh might choke on his water right now. He was away from the microphone.
I almost had a spit take.
This episode feels a bit unhinged,
Yeah,
but like in a
little
good
bit.
way.
Yeah, dude.
Very good.
Power Rangers. It's just we're really passionate about Power Rangers.
Holy, I am.
Yeah,
I am,
honestly
like-
surprising. I didn't know that about you, Cameron.
I didn't talk about Transformers for nearly as long as I could have either. I just went straight to the Power Rangers.
Because let's be real, Power Rangers is cooler than Transformers. Because
No, they're-
100%, 100%, man, dude. Power Rangers is empowered individuals meets Transformers. You can't say that I'm wrong.
counterpoint.
Okay.
Shut up. I literally love them both equally for different reasons.
No,
Okay,
that's
and
okay. That's
I
fair.
understand.
That's
I
fair.
understand why some may prefer one over the other. Totally fine.
Subjective.
Absolutely. They are equal in my eyes, and they always will be.
That's
because
cool.
they are so formative in my life, and not only that, they're both cool as fuck.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, we're done.
Okay,
no
no
Power
more
Rangers.
fucking Power Rangers, okay? Holy shit.
It's so important to me. Okay,
It's very
Where
important to
were
me
we
too.
going, Josh? I want you to take the lead on this one.
Okay, so what we were discussing before this podcast was given a little bit of a background because in an earlier episode we talked about how it feels like to be in the right place, like how sometimes there are moments in your life where you're like, I'm right where I need to be, and we referenced poop and fart in.
Yes, very passingly too.
Yeah.
It was almost so casual that I don't think anyone really noticed it.
I
Right?
agree.
But it's funny because it is something in our personal lives that actually has a lot of like meaning to it.
Very important. It was a very important moment for Cameron and I.
It's kind of odd. I don't even know. Like it is so funny because we said it so like blasé, and now we got to give the story on it just for our own sake, for our
Yeah.
own continuity.
Yeah, so Wyatt has something to say.
So I leave for 30 minutes, and this is the topic these guys choose to talk about.
Okay, well we're gonna give you the backstory too because
Yeah.
you weren't there for the poop and
Yes.
farting story, and it's kind of good. It's short too.
Yeah,
so,
it's
we might have time to tackle some other stuff.
I don't
didn't
think
mean
so.
to. I didn't
don't
mean to
think
talk
so.
about the thing that we talked about for so long.
yeah, we will not mention the name again.
Yeah, but this is a good way to whether we close it or segue with this. This is a great story, super short, and
So-
it's meaningful. It actually is sentimental to us,
I-
even though it
it is.
literally is called
Poop
poop
and
and fartin'.
fartin'.
Like it doesn't
gonna get
sound
it-
very
I'm
sentimental.
gonna get it tatted.
I was actually going to suggest that because
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a great tattoo.
Man, you know how I feel about tattoos, and like if that's the one tattoo that I get, like I don't know, we'll see.
but you can get it on like your ass.
Penis.
Ooh,
That's
that's a long word too.
You can do smaller font.
You're like, yeah, I know. I need to make sure it's really shrunken down on mine.
Anyway, so how it came about. So as people know, and as you guys have probably gathered by listening to our podcast, we feel very passionately about movies. So it was a very common pastime for Cameron and I to get together pretty regularly on a regular basis and just hang out and watch movies, okay? Which we'll probably be doing something related to that in the future or presently, depending on when this comes out.
Hey yo.
So we were watching a movie, and it was a movie that I wanted to watch. That's a really weird movie, and it is a foreign film, I think. And it was Suspiria.
Was it Suspiria
It
that
was
we were
Suspiria
watching?
because remember it's like German, or it was what? Where is that?
So, this is Cameron's movie corner. The original Suspiria is an Italian film, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And we were watching the remake.
Yeah.
I believe it came out in 2018.
Which is fantastic. It's a fantastic movie.
Dakota Johnson is the lead. Mia Goth is in it. So is Tilda Swinton. Amazing movie.
Yeah.
That one's technically American, right? So it wasn't a foreign film,
But
it
it
took
was
place.
set.
It
That's
had a
what I
foreign
meant.
setting.
That's what I meant.
Absolutely. And it was inspired by a foreign film. Or
Yeah.
technically, that movie is mostly in English. I believe it was produced mostly in Italy.
But-
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but there were definitely several moments where they like spoke in foreign languages, which I don't know what they spoke, but like we made the joke of like German, right? And so we were talking, and in passing, we like because if you've ever watched a movie with Cameron and I
don't recommend it.
Exactly, it's abysmal. Like we talk like pretty much the entire time and just crack jokes. And so Suspiria is not a funny movie. It is quite suspenseful and quite eerie. Anyway, we were talking about the German word for a toilet. And obviously, being the immature children that we are, poopin' fartin' was the first thing that came to mind. The reason why I explain this is because about halfway through the film,
In utter silence.
just totally in disregard to what was going on during the film at that time,
and with no connection to what we were previously talking about.
Cameron and I whispered poopin'
Poopin'
fartin' at the exact same time, and we paused the film. We looked at each other and we said exactly what we said on the podcast. Sometimes when you feel like you're right where you're meant to be, there are signs. And who would have thought that the sign for us to be exactly where we're at was poopin' fartin'.
It's just so funny because it seems so, I don't even know, benign, I guess, for anyone that wasn't there, right?
Exactly.
But at the same time, that's kind of the beautiful thing is that not only was it just something so goofy that also turned into something so meaningful for us,
Yes.
but we both had the same initial reaction and we both felt the same way about it.
Yes.
Right? Which is why it's so impactful because not only are we still talking about it and referencing it now, like literal months after it happened.
Literally months ago, yeah.
But it still elicits this weird feeling like, no, this is what we're supposed to be doing.
important.
Like
It's
that was one of
important.
the like initial landmarks
Where
for
it's
us.
like that was a turning point
Yeah,
for us
that
and
was-
our relationship.
That was directly before, if I'm not mistaken, we came up with the name Same Page Productions. It was either
Same
directly
Page.
before or directly after.
And then, like a few weeks after, we came up with It's an Us things by watching a Serbian film, which we'll talk about at a later
oh
date.
boy, yeah. Josh and I watched a Serbian film together, which was a great experience.
It was fantastic. We'll discuss. We don't need to go into that.
No, but
We'll
if
go
you
into
know
that
anything
later.
about a Serbian film, you know that that shouldn't be our reaction.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like, oh, we watched a Serbian film. It was a great time.
It was a great time.
It was
I
a great
really
time.
enjoyed it.
It was a
But,
great time.
Yeah, regardless. So, but the thing about like how it seems so meaningless and such a small passing moment, and I think that's just evidence to how incredible such a meaningless thing can be whenever you're with the right people.
Absolutely. Because it's such a crazy thing, not only to assign meaning to such a goofy thing, but also to have someone reciprocate that exact same meaning in their head.
Exactly.
So, it's pretty fucking beautiful.
No,
and
it was.
It means the world to me. Seriously.
Oh.
Like, Josh, this one's for you, but I can say confidently that there's no other place I'd rather be right now.
I can agree. I can wholeheartedly agree. And I'm so happy that we did this. And I know this is going to be like weeks like after our first episode, but this is only like a couple weeks after us because we're like Cameron has said multiple times, we're recording this in blocks. But like this experience and everything that we've accomplished so far, which in such a short time feels like huge, like such humongous like progress, has just been delightful. And just, I can't imagine doing anything else.
Having listeners in just the double digits was enough of a landmark for me.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
seriously, if just us three listened and then our families and immediate friends listened, boom, that's a win. But we
Yeah.
already have people that we don't talk to regularly responding to us and
Yep.
saying, hey, we like this, keep doing it.
Yep.
And all it's doing is giving us motivation to
Yes.
continue on and get better. So
Yep.
let's keep it going, Josh.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
Holy Shit, we talked about Power Rangers for a long time this episode.
Way too long, and that's fine. And this is a little bit of a shorter episode, but I think that's a perfect point to wrap this up.
I agree, especially considering the things that we do want to talk about might take a little bit longer.
Yeah,
so
they'll definitely. Yeah,
that'll be perfect.
That'll be
perfect. I think that's also part of the fun of the ride. You never.
agree.
This podcast is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
That's true.
I didn't expect to go into this talking about Power Rangers so much.
Dude, I know. We literally came into this with a plan and did not execute. Well, we executed on the plan a little bit.
Absolutely.
But it's a great time. So
I hope that you guys listening right now in your cars, in your earbuds, your AirPods,
during your sexy time,
in your AirPods, during your chores, definitely during sex.
yeah, because that's the best time. That's when actually we recommend listening to our podcast. Is
It will be better at that point, actually.
yeah, exactly. And then it's gonna associate sex to our podcast. You're gonna pop a boner or like get horny every single time you hear our voice, which is exactly. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I am trying to get this podcast classified as an aphrodisiac, so we'll work on it.
We're working on
That
it.
way, whenever people are like, "Oh, what's the best thing to get me in the mood?" Right? It goes like sexy foods, like chocolate or whatever. Right?
Clams.
They say that it's not sexy.
I've
sexy.
had clams before, and like
I don't want to talk about clams whenever I'm getting sexy or
Yeah.
eat them before. But anyway,
Yeah.
or you could put on like some like The Weeknd, like that. That's great sexy time music. Or we're gonna be the third result, right? It's like sexy foods like chocolate, sexy music like The Weeknd,
It's
sexy
an us thing.
podcasts
It's an us
like
thing.
it's an us thing.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay.
Well, thank you guys so much for being on this ride, and I know we've been sentimental the past few episodes, but
It means the most.
it does.
And we're just gonna keep cranking this shit
Yeah.
out. So whether you like it or not, we're
there's more-
here,
There's more coming, and we hope to see you in the next episode.
and we hope that you're coming.